So I've been asked to film a floating hummingbird. So you can do this two ways. You're going to need a pipe cleaner or something fun like that that's kind of rigid. I'm actually going to double this up. Or you can use wire. I like the pipe cleaner a little better. It's softer, and when you double it up, it gives a little bit thicker profile in the balloon, but still doesn't lose the look you're looking for. So a pair of wire snips, and a needle nose. 4 or 5 CDs, that's what you're going to make the base out of. You're going to need a couple 11-inch rounds, one for the base, one to wrap the CDs with. Have a couple for backups. And then the colors you want. And I'm going to use random 260s, 160s, and 1 350 for the belly. And yeah, that should be good to go. So we're going to start out with the base. So the first thing we're going to do is blow this balloon up just a hair. And you're going to just take and not tie it and push it through the CD so you have something that looks like that. Blow it up a hair more, and then I'll be able to get that chest. And then just do that. But I like to leave a little rim on there if you can get it even. If not, flatten it. But if you can leave that little rim on there, it gives some space and makes just for some fun depth in the design. So then what you're going to do is take another 11-inch round, blow it up, and you don't need much on this. This is going to be your base structure, and you're going to marriage twist it. So you want it to be about the same size as the CD once you marriage twist it in, but it's going to sit just like that. You can even use a quick link here if you want and just tie it in. This I kind of like a little better. So now we're going to do the stem of our flower. And we're going to use a flower to make the hummingbird float. So the first thing we want to do is get a double pinch twist in here. And then you want to figure out how long you want your stem to be. You want it to be straight, and you don't want to go too long because then it'll flip and flop over. So kind of shorter the better. And you're actually going to add petals in here too. So get it the length you want it. Get rid of your excess. Tie it. So you have something that looks like that. And then I would recommend tying this if you're not used to doing it. Tie it, and that scrap that you just threw to the side would actually be really good and helpful for this. So you're just going to take and push in on that knot, go to the bottom of the balloon, and grip, and then spin it. And don't worry about where the spin goes because you can actually push the air back where you want it. So then I grab a piece of scrap, hold it with my pinky and ring finger, and just keep going around. And then once you get it around like that, use your teeth, and you can tighten it right into place. And then you move that where you need it. And then you can take this, and like I said, you can do that with a quick link. It won't give you that kind of tulip effect, but then you take the CD base, grab it by the nozzle, come down here with your excess, and just pull them tight and tie them together. And then once you have it all in place, then you can shape it how you want. So, and that'll give you your little flower pot base. So you have that little shape. Then you're going to grab a green 160. And I like to use multiple size balloons to create contour in my design and different depth. So you don't even have to just go around and find your little bottom there, make a leaf. And you want to do 3 leaves for consistency and to make sure it holds straight. Just push it down into that groove. And one more. Roll it right around. And then, and I go around a couple times. Make sure it's locked in place good. And now push everything back into place. So now we're going to use a neon violet for my flower. And I'm just going to do a 6-petal, 7-petal flower. It works with a 5-petal. You need at least 5 petals for it to hold tight. But we'll do a 7-petal here. Or a 6, depending on if I put too much air in. So we got 4, 5, and 6. And one thing I do, I always set my scraps on my table while I'm working, because you never know in your build where you're going to need them. So, and the only thing you want to do to this, we're going to have yellow little flower buds coming out. I'm going to do them with 160s, so you can do 2 or 3. Basically, just a little puff of air. So, back it off. Actually, you can just tie it there, make your life easier. Well, try that again. Let's see here. You don't need a lot. And actually, I just want a little ball. So tighten it a little off there. That'll get you to that. And then figure out how long you want them, a couple inches. And once you tie them, the air will come back into them and make them stand up straight. So, and I didn't bring scissors, but I have some right next to me. Or you can do it a little bit easier. Just squeeze it down to the size you want, tie it, cut that little nozzle off. So leave those out. You're not going to put those in quite yet. I'm only going to do 2 for time's sake here, but you can do 3, 4, however many you want. 2 is probably easiest for this. Leave a little scrap on here because you're going to marriage twist this in. So this is actually going to be marriage twist into a yellow along with the beak of the bird into here. So we're going to go ahead and we can create the beak. So what you're going to do with the beak is you only want the beak to be so long. So we're going to make it maybe, I don't know, 4 or 6 fingers. Rip it. And then take your pipe cutter, bend it in half, and just slide it inside the balloon. And try and go all the way. Pull it all the way on there. And so where you doubled it over, go back down and cut it. And then just kind of make sure that's out of the way. So now what you're going to do is put a puff of air in here. Don't worry about where the wire, actually, I forgot one important part. Put a knot in the end of this before you do that. That's going to allow you to give something to grab onto to marriage twist into the into the flower, so it holds in like this. So now what you're going to do is put a puff of air back into the and you just want a little bit. So you're going to back this off and just push the air back. And if you've ever seen a hummingbird beak, it comes back and it has like a little bulge. So, and this little bulge is going to help support the weight. So then you just want to tie that once you have it to the size you want. You want to keep it nice and small. Hummingbirds are very, very tiny in real life. So, and you know, with the wires right there, the balloon's really soft, so you can just take a chance. I've had them pop on me, but most of the time they work. But that's your beak. And then, so now we're going to take, let's make the body of our bird. So for this, teal blue. So for the body of your bird, you're going to do 2 really small pinch twists. So no more than 1 finger. A really small pinch twist. Really small pinch twist. And you want them to be close to the same size. And you want them to be facing the same direction so they sit flat, so they hold your beak in good. So one's a little bigger than the other, but they'll actually work. So then you just want it to be a hummingbird small, so like 3-4 fingers, pinch twist, come back, match that bubble, 3 or 4 fingers, into your double pinch twist, and then you're just gonna pull this back and keep it kind of snug, but a little bit bigger than your first 2, just to give it some curvature into the head. And then come down here, pinch twist. So maybe a 4 or 5, let's say 4 or 5 finger bubble, a little bigger than the head. This is going to be your body. Another pinch twist. Come back up, match that bubble, and then just leave this right here. So that's going to hook your wings in. So to do your wings, I'm going to use a purple 160. And I'm going to leave probably 6-7 fingers worth of air to be able to do this whole wing with 1 balloon. So you're just going to make a small pinch twist and a loop. So your outside loop is going to be your biggest loop, and then they're going to get smaller. So it's just a hair smaller. Then you make another spacer bubble, pinch twist, and then a smaller loop. So you're just creating a bird wing. So it gets to look like that. And you can do 4 or 3. I'm going to go with 4 on this one, so you can see the downsize. But you don't want your spacer bubbles too close. You don't want your spacer bubbles too close because the wings will sit funny. So you want to make sure you have a good distance to where they touch each other, but they don't actually get close to each other and mess up on each other. So I'm not going to be able to do that out of 1 balloon. I can do it out of 2. So another purple 160, and you're going to wrap into the small spacer, and then you're going to make maybe a 2-finger spacer bubble. What this is going to do is allow this to fold in clean over your back, and it's going to push your wings out like he's flying. So, and then just repeat that wing on the other side. Try and stay as consistent as possible on the sizes. So small, And just kind of look across and see what you got. And we'll just run through that real quick again. A little bigger. Oh. My consistency's really off today. Alright, let's do this. So you get the point. We're going to just run through this for teaching purposes. Alright, so loop that in. Get rid of your extra. So now you have this fancy set of wings, and you can kind of shape it however you like. So you're going to slide that up and get it as high up on the bird's back as possible. And you can move it and play around, but you want to pull this nice and tight. The bird doesn't have a big humpback, so you want to pull that nice and tight, and that's going to give you that swooping motion, like he's kind of just hovering in the air. Like I said, you can push these around, move the pinch twist to get the desired shape and look that you're going for. And that's kind of cool. So then you just spin this. And so for the belly for this bird, I chose rose. I like the contrasting colors with the purple and the teal. So to do the belly, just gonna blow up a 350 just a hair. And you don't want the neck of the bird sitting up like that. So squeeze air out of it, pull it down, so your neck comes back into the position you want. You want the belly to be nice and fat though, so squeeze the balloon so you get kind of a teardrop effect, and then just wrap it and roll it right into that bottom pinch twist. Alright, so now you have this, and you're pretty much almost there. We're going to add a tail. Hummingbirds have really unique tails. They're really colorful. For this one, I'm just going to go with purple again, just to keep some color balance in it. But I've done this many different ways. This is the cleanest and easiest way I've found to do it, and I like the best. It's just making a heart. So put the purple in where you want it, shape it, figure out the size you want, and lock that back in place. And you can use this purple, if you don't want to add more colors, you can use this purple and make 2 loop twist feet, or just a length feet like that, or you can do loop twist, or you can add another color in. We might add another color in. We'll see what I think here in a second. Alright, so to make the heart, you're just going to do a compression twist. Find your center, grab it, fold it over where you need it, and just shape it right into, just keep shocking it until you get that contour that you want. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and use Goldenrod 160 for the feet, just to have another color in there. And then, so for the feet, you can do, let's do loop twists, it'll look better, but you can do links. If you're trying to be quick, something like that, but just do 2 small loop twists. So super small, like bird feet. You don't want to overpower the body. And once you have it in place, just roll it, roll it, roll it. Get rid of your excess. Move your pinch twist into place. Shape your tail. So that way everything's kind of sitting in those creases and they'll stay right in place. And you're going to have to come back up here and probably reshape your wings. And spin everything so I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. So, and you get something that looks like that. So where did our beak go? So now we've got our beak that's got a our wire inside of it. So we're just going to take this and be very gentle because that's where that little piece can pop, this pinch twist. So you just want to roll right into place and try and get it around at least twice and tighten everything up. So I'm not going to be able to go around twice because of the way my wire's sitting in there. But what I can do, since I couldn't go around twice, is grab the slack that I have over here that I left on and pull that around to get me that extra tension that I needed. So that's going to give you your bird beak. Now we'll do a little eye. So for the eye, little black 260 or 160, it doesn't matter. Birds have really small eyes, so you just want to go super small. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the air out of the balloon all the way down to create a space. As I'm doing that, I'm turning the balloon to create this little line. That way when I put the eye in, it's actually not going to create tension. So now I have this long gap and no air is coming back. So what I want to do is match that bubble on the other side. So we're pretty close. We've got this long slinky extension in the middle. So now what I'm going to do is tighten off this, tighten that off. These can sit because they're not going to go anywhere. And you want to get rid of your excess. And then this is the tricky part. You go back, you hold onto that excess, and you come up and under and tie that knot into a pinch twist. So now it gives you a little beady eye, and then you just go back and do it to the other side. And it gives you more of an oval shape for the eye instead of just a flat round. So now, and you have all this space that you can push in the balloon and manipulate without the balloon putting tension. So it's kind of cool. Little trick I came up with a few years ago. When I was trying to get some eyes to set in the middle of the head. And you just push them in place. And now you have eyes. All right, so our bird's done. So now we're going to go back to our flower and our base because we got to get the bird to connect in here and actually be supported by the flower. So this is the fun, tricky part. So what we're going to do, we already have our flower made. So now what we're going to do is another 260 lime green. Pump it up. And you're going to grab the nozzle, pull it tight, and go around quite a few times in here. And then just create a small spacer bubble. And so just something small, and then you're going to lock that into your double pinch twist right here. And just to add some extra security, match that bubble, and then come back and match it one more time. So you create 3 bubbles in this little stem. And that's going to help support the weight of your hummingbird when you want to set it on the table. So you're going to come around, So you're going to have something that looks like that. But what this will allow you to do is you can move that pinch twist and create different angles with your flower. So like you could have the pinch twist come on top of each other. So however it works for you and you want to display it, I'm going to display it something like that. So now we've got our flower. So this is where the fun comes in. So now we've got our two little succulents for the flower. Let's get a yellow ready. So a yellow 260. I'm going to push this through. And so when you push the two yellows through, you have to push the black through as well. So get all three knots in your hand. You're going to push that is pretty deep. Grab the three knots inside there. Get your finger out. Push it back on itself and then tighten it. And this too, you're going to have to tie it. It will not stay. So easiest way to do it, let the air out, come back over itself. And then pray that you got it in there and pull it as tight as you can. And then push your knot back out. So then you can take this little section here with this scrap and you want to pull it down into the flower. And then what I like to do is come up and underneath my knot. If you can see that, how I did that, the knot's right there, so I find it, pull it, and that way I know it's secure into that flower structure. And it's going to tighten everything up for me, so my bird actually will sit in a hovering position. And then you just want to get rid of your excess, which always keep a pair of scissors on you. Tuck it in there. So, and now you have a hummingbird on a flower that actually looks like it's flying and moves. Thanks for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed it.